Welcome back. So unfortunately, the indoctrination of our children into this trans ideology, this transgender agenda, whatever the heck you want to call what they're doing to our kids these days, has not stopped. He's also a parental rights expert. I want to welcome back to the program, Tamara Farah.
Thank you, Dan. Great to be with you.
Nice to see you again. I'm glad that I got to start this interview with positive news, even though the beginning of the segment started with more negative about this group pushing for this calendar of garbage. So I'll let you decide. Ladies' choice. Would you like to go with the negative or the positive?
Well, there's actually some pretty big positive news, or many of us would believe it's positive. And since that Daily Caller piece came out, on December 30th, it got sort of buried under all the other news.
Of course.
But it's huge. The 11th Circuit Court of Appeals ruled 7-3 that Title IX does not include so-called gender identity.
Ooh.
So this is a very, very big decision.
That is big.
They indicated in their decision that the Equal Protection Clause does not authorize transgender identifying students to use the facilities of the opposite sex. So the majority opinion was written by Judge Lagoa, and she was saying that there is an unremarkable and nearly universal practice of separating school bathrooms based on biological sex. I mean, stating the obvious, but there it is.
Yeah.
And that the majority disagrees with the trans students theory, the one that originally filed the court case in Central Florida. Their theory was the separation of bathrooms on the basis of biological sex necessarily discriminates against transgender students, but the court says it does not necessarily discriminate.
Great.
I mean, I would add to that, Dan, we've all heard of this, that there are many schools that have given those who identify as trans access to dedicated bathrooms. So it's not that they're being discriminated. They are trying to change the legal definition of sex. And like you said earlier, we are all about the science. There are two genders.
Yeah. Well, I'm following science and God. I mean, that's all they wanted to do during the COVID pandemic. You and I talked about that numerous times, was follow the damn science. Well, we did. And we were right. We don't have to go there, though. This is about the transgender agenda. You and I could go on and on about the pandemic, the vaccine, the lockdowns, the masks. We'll keep it with our kids on this one.
Right.
So some good things. You heard me talk about Nebraska and Texas and Pennsylvania. It should be happening more. What do parents need to do? Because maybe fill them in on your story. I mean, before the COVID pandemic and you joined Moms for America and now this group, were you that heavily involved? Or was this something like, I think a lot of moms and dads that have joined in the movement since all of this has been happening the last 2-3 years, whether it's the COVID or this transgender agenda, it's really sparked parents to get involved.
It has, because, decisions around, like you mentioned or alluded to, if somebody wants to say that they have a gender identity that's opposite of their biosex, I think you and I agree. This is a free country. They can make that statement.
Sure.
They can believe that, even if we disagree with it. But for the school to be in the driver's seat with introducing those concepts and asking kids what their pronouns are, and these transgender non-conforming gender plans that are being taught to teachers through the teachers union during teacher training, that they should use these plans and establish these plans with kids. It's been going on since before the pandemic. January Littlejohn and her daughter, that's a big story to watch. That's a big lawsuit to watch. Not telling parents about that, not including parents in these huge decisions. One thing I like to tell parents is, according to the Every Student Succeeds Act and FERPA, particularly in this instance, you have the right to review your child's records. And I guarantee you those teachers are, well, if they've got the plan, they're certainly writing things down. But even if they've just got a list of students' pronouns, we know they're not memorizing 30 kids' pronouns. That is written down. You have every right, according to federal law, to go to your school and request to see those records. So we just want to encourage parents to have courage. That's one of my biggest themes in parental rights. We're putting together a toolkit with ParentsKnowBest.com. That's where it will live. We will be doing webinars around that and a lot of different very practical steps for parents to take to exercise their rights. That'll be coming out probably early February. We are very committed to empowering parents in these ways.
Great. I love that you're so involved, and you just transitioned from one fight to the next fight. You didn't give up. You saw another need, and you just said, hey, here I go. We're going to get on with Freedom Works and fight this agenda. And again, Tamara, I will echo exactly what you said. I have no problem, because I love this country so much and the liberties that we're all afforded under our Constitution and Bill of Rights, that you can call yourself a damn paper. I don't care. But you can't make me call you a piece of paper. And that's it. And don't teach my kids that they have to call somebody a piece of paper in your damn classroom. That's all we're asking. It's a real simple ask, isn't it, Tamara?
It is. There's actually a teaching method, a didactic method called the illusion of truth effect. And it explains exactly what we've just been discussing about teachers introducing these concepts to students and asking them over and over about their pronouns. It is the power of repetition and suggestion. And I consider that not to be the role of our educators. I wrote a piece that was published in Town Hall within the last month on how our kids are failing. And I am suggesting there, and I'd love for someone to do a study on it, but I am suggesting there that these woke cultural issues are distracting kids and
of course
educators.
they are. It's confusing the hell out of them, Tamara. It's confusing the hell out of them, especially the young ones. Let's be real. They're talking to elementary and middle school kids about this garbage. So you're confusing them, you're distracting them, and yes, you're grooming them, because,
That's right.
Come on, how many stories do we hear? Here's a little girl, dresses like a boy, acts like a tomboy, she's tomboyish. Then all of a sudden in high school, sprouts into this beautiful woman, stops the tomboyish, she's a woman. But if at 5, 6, 7, 8, you got a teacher and then some woke ass parents going, oh, do you think maybe you're a boy? Oh, 15, let's cut your breasts off. Maybe let's be a boy. That's what we're asking you to stop doing. Stop the grooming. Let evolution happen. Let the child evolve. And then when they're an older teenager, almost adult, if they want to come out and do whatever they want to do, great. That's a decision for them and their parents to discuss, not a damn woke teacher.
Absolutely.
Anyway, they're giving me the hard rap. You and I could go on forever.
I know.
You know that. Tamara Ferris, Senior Advisor at Freedom Works Education Initiative. We thank you so much. The website is parentsknowbest.com. She's a fighter. You want to learn more about what she does and how she's fighting and how you can get involved. Check out the website. Shoot them an email. Get some advice. Great, great stuff you're doing. Tamara, thank you so much. God bless you.
Thanks so much for having me.
Yep, take care.